Wondering how to prepare for retirement? Well, I have some good news for you, because today we walk through step 2 in our retirement planning process. All right, welcome back to another episode of A Worthwhile Retirement. I am Jacob George. Today, we are still really just getting into the 7-step retirement planning process. Assuming that retirement is something that you're interested in, it would be good to have some sort of plan in place. So far, in step 1, we have dreamt up what we want our retirement experience to look like. And that allows us to move on to step 2. But before we do, remember that this podcast is general information, not intended to be taken as investment, legal, or tax advice specific to you and your situation. All right, let's go. Step 2. Determine your income need. After you've finished dreaming up what your retirement will look like, the next most logical step is to figure out what it will cost. Now, our answer does not have to be perfect. And actually, it cannot be. Obviously, we're not going to pinpoint our average annual spend for the next 30, 40 years. We can't predict the future, and our lives are changing all the time, so don't feel pressure to get this perfectly right. Don't spend too much time on it, but do come up with an educated guess. And to help us come up with that estimate, we have 2 fantastic data points. First is your current expenses. Your present day-to-day expenses are a great starting point. After all, your goal is to continue to support yourself, and you've gotten pretty good at it so far. So use your current annual spend as a baseline. But then we need to make the necessary adjustments to that for items that we know will be different in our retirement. And many of these aspects will actually work in your favor. For instance, once you're retired, you no longer need to factor in retirement savings. So any 401k contributions that were being deducted from your check, any IRA contributions that you're taking into account right now, we get to leave all those behind. Also, your payroll taxes. You're not having that 7.65% taken out of your income anymore. Your mortgage. It's very possible that during some or all of your retirement that you may be living with a completely paid off house. So you may be able to factor out your mortgage payment also. Your children, they are likely independent and out of the house. You also probably won't be as physically active towards the end of your life. If you've ever heard of the go-go, slow-go, and no-go years, as your retirement progresses, your discretionary expenses naturally tend to decrease. But these are just some of the reasons why many practitioners suggest approximating 70 to 80% of your current expenses for after you've retired. Now, some expenses will likely increase in your retirement, namely healthcare, all health-related expenses. Yes, while Medicare is a phenomenal care system, as our bodies age, they will really put that to the test. And then, of course, not everything is covered by Medicare. Long-term care expenses are a huge consideration in retirement. So yes, while some expenses do tend to come down, don't forget to factor in your healthcare cost, which can vary wildly from person to person. This is also where your own personal fitness level comes into play, as well as some things that we can't control, like our family history. All that to say, our first data point to help guide our expense estimation is our current expenditures, with some practical adjustment. And the second piece of data to help us is our retirement goals. Remember all those things that you dreamed about in step 1? Well, now it is time to assign them a dollar amount. All those family vacations, what they might look like, how much they will cost. Are we just paying for us? Are we going to cover the kids also? How much do we want to budget for all that? All those hobbies that you've always wanted to try. How much would it cost to fund those? To buy equipment or memberships or whatever. But retirement is a season of opportunity, and we need to know approximately how much it will cost to fund that opportunity. And again, you are not going to think of every retirement expense on your first pass through of this exercise, and that is okay. Retirement planning is a process that we will continue to refine. But do just try to make sure you cover the basics. Make sure you've gotten your living expenses, healthcare, property taxes, stuff like that. And then try to factor in as much of your retirement dreams as you can think of. And if you are having trouble thinking of all of them, or just wondering where to start, I wrote down a few ideas to help get your brain going. Let's see. Covering the cost of church events. Paying for the meals of friends, family, even strangers. Having a space to host large groups of people. Funding mission work, either for yourself or also for others. And additional gifting to worthwhile organizations. Those are just a few ideas that I leave you with to get you going, but figure out your annual spend in retirement. That is step 2 in our retirement planning process. So tune in next time as we continue walking through these steps.